So I like lead gen, and I also extremely hate lead gen. It's way more complicated than e-commerce. The hard part comes post lead generation. You can actually manage a lead generation campaign not even really entirely in Google Ads. Google Ads is actually sort of secondary. Some prerequisites for having a successful lead generation campaign. This is way more valuable than Google Ads. All right, today we're going to take a little bit of a detour, and we're going to do lead gen. So I like lead gen, and I also extremely hate lead gen. It's way more complicated than e-commerce, and it needs a lot more hand-holding and a lot more training from our side to the client side. And what I like about lead gen is it's fairly simple. There's not a very specific amount of money that we have to sell on a specific product to a specific audience. We're just trying to develop the leads from one company to another, or from a user to a company. So it's simplistic on its face, but the hard part comes post lead generation. There's a few things that we're going to talk about. Is what is the best structured setup for not in Google Ads. Google Ads lead generation is primarily search and YouTube. It's not too difficult. You can get a lot done with just a simple search campaign. But I took a few of my clients that I manage on a day-to-day basis, and I'm going to use what I do for them. Some of you have actually been involved in the weekly meetings. I think Caden was at one point, and I think Colby, you're obviously on with my meetings now. But what we're going to be doing is just essentially talking about how to manage a lead generation client and what are some of the actions that we will need to take starting kind of day one in ensuring a successful relationship with Solutions 8 and that client. So we're just going to dive right in. I'm gonna hop into a campaign. Oh, and also this is actually what's really cool is you can actually manage a lead generation campaign not even really entirely in Google Ads. Google Ads is actually sort of secondary. And I think that we've perhaps talked about this in previous brain transfer videos or whatever it may be. But I think this is going to be important to revisit it because we have some new faces, new clients, and get kind of a refresher course on this. So I'm going to pop open this client here. All right. Not a very large client. So 7K per month. So nothing too bad. 7K per month is on the higher end side of, we're talking about like a low, medium, and high size client. But I'll share with you all of 2022's metrics. So in 2022, I'll show you this here. The conversions were only starting to be tracked in September, and I've been managing this account since 2020, by the way. So this is an account that's been already up and running for some time. Now, what you'll see here on the screen is one campaign that's been 44 grand and got 275 leads that I can count. There's more conversions here that I just wasn't tracking this account for about a year. And the reason being is I did everything inside of HubSpot. So I wasn't even actually inside of Google Ads when I was talking to clients, managing it and having conversations with them on a fairly consistent basis. And you can see even like day per day, we're still getting anywhere between 1 and on the high side 6 leads or 7 leads, but it's fairly consistent. And that was because I looked inside of HubSpot and I know what I'm tracking as a good quality conversion. Now, some prerequisites for having a successful lead generation campaign is a quality sales team that is communicative. If we do not have a quality sales team that is communicative on the client side, this will 100% fail collectively, and no one will know who or why or what the linchpin was of where this failed. A communicative sales team is your lifeline to your feedback. What is going on with these campaigns? The reason why I didn't track these conversions inside of Google Ads for over a year is because I was tracking them here inside of the dashboard for that same company in HubSpot. Now, when I'm looking at all of my dashboards here, I can kind of see the source that's created the leads, and you can see paid searches here. There is going to be some offline sources and organic, that's not all going to be attributed to me, but that's okay. I'm going to see the majority of what I need to see in order to make sure that I'm doing my job correctly. What I was using primarily is the ads section of marketing.
This is not a glitch. I'm interrupting the video you're watching because I need to remind you that I'm always looking for people to join our team. So if you're passionate about Google Ads and you want to work with the best Google Ads agency on the planet, please go to so8.com/apply. Speaking of working with the best Google Ads agency on the planet, if you're having trouble with Google Ads and you want professional help, that's what we do. You can go to so8.com, that's SOL8.com, to apply for your free, no obligation action plan. And if I've given you any level of value at all, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. That's how we juice the YouTube algorithm so they actually know that I know what I'm talking about. If you have questions, comments, concerns, or confessions, hit me below in the comments. And now, back to your regularly scheduled program.
And because we have a good team that is very communicative, I can see even just the last 30 days, I have 83 leads, $85 each. Let's see how that looks in the last 30 days here. Last 30 days, I have 109. Okay, so I'm missing some. And $7,000 in cost, and that's $7,000 in cost. Good. I know that I've turned that $7,000 into 121,000 so far, though, off of one deal. And there's going to be more deals that will be attributed to this month. It's just not going to happen because the sales cycle is about 4 to 6 months. That is something that we need to know really well, is what is the average sales cycle and what is an appropriate time to measure. You can see last month, my ROAS was good, 1,600%. I had one deal. It cost me $7,000 per deal. Well, that's because if we look at last year, for example, my cost per deal was $3,000. It takes a while for these deals to close. And that's how I'm tracking this, is $60 leads, 16 deals closed at $3,000. And I have 4,800 ROAS last year. I spent 48 grand to make 2.3 billion. This is way more valuable than Google Ads. Google Ads is not going to, they're going to tell me that a lead came in, but they're not going to tell me what the quality is, how long it take to close, who's responsive, who's not, based on also the search terms that they're using. If you look at the campaign, I got one little campaign here running pure broad. That's pretty much it. My search keywords are pretty simple: metal building, steel building, metal carports, steel barn structures, metal shop, RV carport. You know, this RV carport here, for example, made that $100 I spent there made about $80,000 last month with that $100 right there, and I can tell you that for sure. And so I'm okay with bidding on these type of keywords. More than half of these things are junk, but I'm tracking what the actual result is. So the moral is do I look at Google Ads? No. If I look at the change history over this last, since July, I made 64 keyword changes, so I added a bunch, but that was it. Bidding, budget. I didn't make one ad. I barely touched this thing, because when you find out what is working and what's not, my actual contribution to this company has actually been primarily in HubSpot. I'm the one that has built their workflow. Now, I'm not saying that we need to build the workflow, but this organic lead routing here, this is the one. I don't know why it's acting like I'm a new user. All this stuff that we've done in here is all from me. So all the workflows that I have in the if-then branches, all this stuff here is coming from me. Why? Well, because I'm helping them with their sales team. It is Friday, February 10th. Yeah, February 10th. All right, cool. Hope everyone's doing good, and we are going to kind of dive right into some things. I think this is going to be a really good episode, because we're actually going to change gears a bit. A lot of our internal meetings that we have kind of spark